Okay, so today we're talking about how to build your email list, and I'm a really big fan on building your business based off of referrals. I mean, if you could have a ton of referrals or maybe even just a handful, that they're already open to working with you, right? They already have a positive vibe about you because their friend or family member or somebody they know, gave them your name. So they're easier to convert, and they're just less work, right? You're not cold calling, you're not, marketing to expireds. You're not trying to pay Zillow or somebody else to generate those leads. It's a more organic feel, and you can create a consistent business flow with referrals. So let's talk about how we can do that with email marketing. And I don't want you to think that we're only talking about referrals today. We're absolutely going to talk about how you can get even new business or different business that you didn't necessarily have before by doing strategies we're going to teach you and share with you here in this webinar. Alrighty, so before I get to what I'm going to share with you on this first slide, you may have already, stalked us online like I do. If I meet somebody or hear of a new company, I always look at their website to see who they are and what they do. But in a nutshell, we are a real estate marketing company. Our company is called Your Biz Tank. A lot of people shorten it and just say Biz Tank, which is fine, but Your Biz Tank is our name, and we focus just in the real estate space. So we do training like this, we do one-on-one coaching, we have online workshops, we also have our virtual assistant side where essentially we become your marketing department, and we kind of we take some stuff off of your plate so you don't have to hire somebody internally, and you just know that that stuff is getting done. So that's kind of what we do in a nutshell, and I love doing webinars like this, and we teach a lot of CE classes and in-person classes, which is just a lot of fun to interact with you guys and get to know what it is you need and to know, answer your questions, and just make sure that you guys are on the right path. That's just really our underlying passion, is to make sure you guys are on the right track to reach your goals. So one of those things that we are launching, you guys are actually the first to hear about this. I have not even told my team about this. I haven't even told our clients or anybody on social, so you guys are literally the first people to hear about this. We are going to open up what we're calling a free Tech Savvy Challenge. And this is our first challenge that we're doing, and we're opening it up to whoever. And it's, like I said, it's free. So it's going to run for 30 days. And I'm telling you this first so that I don't forget later once we get into the meat of this webinar. But it's a 30-day challenge. It's going to start next Monday in February. So all of February, we're going to be giving you one challenge per week. And we're going to rotate the topics, but this specific 30-day challenge is specifically on Pinterest. So if you just want to dabble in Pinterest or kind of figure out how to do certain things in Pinterest or certain strategies, we are going to attack the Pinterest topic in February. And basically what this is going to do is give you little nuggets of wisdom and tips on this specific topic for the month. So, if it were Facebook, we might tell you to post a picture of you with your client at the closing table. That might be a challenge. That way you can kind of get to know how to do that, how to do it from your smartphone, what that strategy might do for your business page, that type of thing. So we're going to give you certain tips and tricks to try. That way it's free, like I said, and that way you can get to know certain things and get more familiar with different platforms and different tech-savvy strategies, if you will. So I'm going to actually, give me 1 second to pop the link in the chat box for you guys to sign up. Like I said, we don't have this anywhere else yet. The landing page and all the information will be online probably later today or tomorrow. But I'm giving you guys exclusive access to this. So let me grab the link before we get started. But I'm pretty pumped about this. I'm pretty pumped because I've always wanted to offer something for free, and I think this will be fun. I think it'll be super fun to learn little nuggets of wisdom and just absorb and learn little chunks here and there to get more savvy. So I'm going to pop this link in here. All you need to do is create a free account, and you'll get the content starting next week. So yeah, that's that. All right, now I will jump into the meat of this. All right, so I'm going to address the elephant in the room first before we go into anything else. The elephant in the room is you're inundated with emails, right? Why should I participate in that email blast? Why am I just going to become another spam email, if you will, in somebody else's inbox? And that's not the case. I'm going to show you how you can stand out in somebody's email inbox and get more opens, you get a better open rate and stand out against all that spammy stuff, because I unsubscribe to stuff all the time. And if you have a ton of emails in your inbox, I have a tool for you. So the elephant in the room is to clear out your inbox. Let's get rid of all this junk that you have that's cluttering your stuff. So it's called unroll.me, and you can sign up for this, and it will allow you to unroll from things that you don't care about anymore. You might have signed up for, somebody to give you discounts to a clothing store, or a discount to somewhere else, or maybe Groupon or something like that, but you never open that email. Unroll.me will be a helpful tool for you. So that's the elephant in the room. We'll clear out our inboxes and get to it. So here we go. Today, specifically, we are going to cover why email marketing is still working. I still hear people saying email marketing is dead. Email marketing is a waste of time. And I'm here to tell you it's really not. You're here probably because you got an email from me, right? How many of you are? I'm curious. How many of you saw an email from us and signed up for this webinar through that? Just say yes if you did. I'm curious. I got a couple me's already. Yeah. Yes, yeah. But of course, yeah, exactly. Everybody that's commenting, yes, I keep getting them. Yep. So email marketing is not dead because you were here because I sent you an email, right? Okay, so why email is working, I'm going to share that with you. I'm going to give you examples of companies who use it every single day. So I don't know, I'm a visual person. I work better when I can see exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, or an example of something, right? So I'm going to share examples of certain things with you too. I'm going to show you how to create an item of value people actually want. That's an enticing piece of value that's going to get them to want to give you their email address. That's kind of an obstacle we have to overcome, so we're going to talk about that too. I'm also going to share with you steps to take to get started today. So this might seem like, oh my gosh, this is a lot, but I'm going to break it down so you can get, specific strategies to take away and actually do today. You guys ready for this? I'm so ready for this. I'm so excited to share this with you. We actually did this webinar, I think at this time last year, and it was so popular. I don't know why I didn't do it a second time last year, but this one is a full house. So thank you guys so much for coming and taking an hour out of your busy, growing schedules as we enter the busy real estate market, right? Okay, so facts about email marketing. I had to share these with you. I love facts, but I love that this stuff is working for the entire, industry. So I pulled up these stats. I went through a lot just for this webinar, but I pulled the ones that I feel like are valuable, that you should know going into this strategy and putting this together for your business. This is a good one, and I'm not sure what it is for real estate. This is just in general. But the ROI for every $1 spent on email marketing, and a dollar might be your time, might be paying somebody to do that, but the average ROI is way higher. Look at that. For every $1, your ROI is 44.25. Now this is, I think, just overall. So I'm curious to see what this will do for your business, because as I mentioned in the emails I sent out, we were working with an agent. We sent out one email to her database, and she's never worked her database before or sent out any emails to her database. After one email, somebody replied and said, oh, I forgot you were in the real estate business. I actually need to list my house. Can we talk? And she ended up listing that house. So the ROI for that was whatever the commission she made on selling that house. So it could potentially be huge if you tap into it in the right way. So 95% of online consumers use email. And if that doesn't tell you you should be there, then you're crazy, because you definitely should be there. 91% of consumers check their email once per day. Just like Facebook, you're on email because, especially if you're in the business space, if email is important to you, if you're looking for, something in your email, Look at that number. 91% of consumers check it at least once per day. It's up there with Facebook. 48% of emails are opened on a mobile device, so if you're not making your emails mobile friendly, you better think twice about that. And this one's fun too. Daily U.S. consumers interact with about 11 brands through email. That's more than Facebook and Twitter. So they're actually interacting with brands more through email than on Facebook and Twitter. 90% of prefer to receive updates via email, an email newsletter, over something else, which is interesting. I thought that was a really interesting stat. I have two more facts for you. 60% of businesses say email marketing is producing an ROI, and return on investment is what ROI means. And email conversion rates are 3 times higher than social. So if I emailed you and said, sign up for this webinar, or that's higher, 3 times more likely to convert that request than on social. Isn't that crazy? So this is an actual stat. I pulled this morning. This is an actual stat from our website. The top 5 most referral places we get our referral traffic from. So people on Facebook that click on a link to our website. M.Facebook is mobile on Facebook. So direct is just going to yourbizthink.com. Googling is you Google a topic and you find our website. And then Facebook, and then email. Email is in the top 5. So people are coming to our website from our email marketing campaigns. And we don't send out a ton. If you're on our email list, we might send out at most one time per week, at most. We can be more aggressive, like when we have a webinar. I think I sent one out twice today and one on Monday. So there's a lot that you could do with this and a lot of potential if you build it right. So list building can do a couple things, and by list building, I mean gathering a list of potential clients or just people who are interested in what you have to offer. So list building can mean emails, it can mean addresses, it can mean whatever it is, but as long as you have a contact, a form of contact for that list, that's what we're talking about here. So list building can generate right now leads. If your call to action or if your value that you're offering or whatever you're prompting them to do is right now, if I want you to sign up for this webinar right now, then it can definitely generate right now leads. It can generate maybe later leads. I call these the looky-loos, the people who might want to sell their home maybe next year or whatever that case may be. But it can generate both. It can generate a sense of urgency, or it can generate just a list of potential people that you could possibly sell their home or help them buy in the future. One thing that's really key here, how many of you have gotten leads from like Zillow or Trulia or a lead source where the email address was bogus? How many of you been there? I've had bad email addresses, bad phone numbers. I've been there, done that, where I waste time calling numbers and it's like, this number can't be completed as dialed or whatever it says. It's so irritating, right? But when you follow what we're about to share with you, an item of value, they have to give you their email address if you give them something that they truly, truly want. So you can definitely grab some legit email addresses. Oh yeah, we got some people saying yes, 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 yes. It's irritating, right? When you have that bogus phone number or address. So you can definitely create awareness or buzz through this process. You can generate a different kind of lead. So like I said, it could be not necessarily I'm going to buy or sell right now. It could be a lead where you're just trying to break in or dominate, a certain area, a certain target market, a certain neighborhood. You can definitely be really strategic with this and generate a different kind of lead and build a different kind of list that generates some really good business. Email marketing allows you to stay connected and even revive old leads. I don't know if you guys have seen this as an opportunity, but when you're emailing somebody and you have people on your email list, it can even revive old leads and stay in touch, allow you to stay in touch with people, that maybe didn't convert before. So let me share some examples with you so you can kind of see where I'm going with this, and then we're going to get into the meat. I'm going to give you exactly the steps you need to look at and focus on when it comes to building your email list. So let me just transfer over to my live screen here. Okay, so I have a couple of industry leaders that I want to share with you, and then I have a real estate example. Play. Okay. So you should see melanieduncan.com. I don't know if any of you have heard of Melanie Duncan, but she has done, she basically helps entrepreneurs or business owners grow their business through different things. I actually think she just did something similar to what we're doing today about list building and working that to grow your business. But, you know, she basically, what I'm sharing with you is if I click, basically she's prompting me with the call to action, right? That's the only thing. I can't scroll down. There's only a couple options I have on this page. So if I wanted to get started and have her help me work smarter and live larger, who doesn't want to do that, right? I'm going to click Get Started. This is a call to action. This is basically saying top 10 must-have tools for growing an online business. And I have an online business, so that would be great. I'm going to go ahead and pop my name and my email in here and download this free something. So if I want whatever she's offering me, I have to put in my valid email address. And once I click download, it's going to automatically email me that thing I'm opting in for. So what did she just do? She just prompted me with a call to action to get started on growing, working smarter, and living larger, which who doesn't want to, right? And now the second step is to give my information to her to get an item of value to get me started. So that's a two-parter right there. Actually, it's a little more than two parts, but there's a step-by-step process here that she's following. Is this making sense? Have you guys seen this before? Have you actually downloaded something before? Because I download stuff all the time. If it's valuable to me and it's free, who cares? What's the harm in just reading it and looking at it if it's valuable to me? I have another example for you. Marie Forleo is also in that same space. She helps you create a business and grow your business. So Marie Forleo, right when you go to her website, the only thing that you see right when you go there is obviously her blog and this thing prompting you to watch this video, Oprah, which is a pretty good social proof picture right there, right? And then she's also with an arrow prompting you to get free tips. So this is a call to action. She's basically saying, get anything you want, I'll show you how, blank. That's what I saw when I came to this website. So name and email, I want that. I want exactly, I don't know what you're giving me yet, but I want that. Click done, right? So this is another call to action you might have seen or you might have actually participated in. Now let me go to our website. You might have seen this as well. I just launched it, I think, last week. One of our call to actions is 20 tools and resources for your real estate business. So if you click here, same thing. It prompts you for if you want a list of tools for free that we use and recommend, name, email, get the list, done. Now I'm building my email list with an item of value that's valuable to you, who is my audience, and it's automated. It's all in here. It's done. It's easy. Let me show you a real estate example. So if I'm browsing on this website, I'm just, cruising through here, I might see this, some sort of call to action that says 10 tips to help you sell your home faster. If I click on this, it takes me to a place where it prompts me to enter my name, email, and then done. If I do this, it will automatically send me this thing that I'm opting in for, and it's automated. So catching my drift, have you guys seen this? Does this make sense? Let's break it down. Let's break it out and see what we need to do to create something similar to this. And there's a lot of different ways that I just showed you that we could do this. It could be an ebook. It could be a list of something. It could just be get on my list and I'm going to make you an amazing business owner. It could be, what would she have? 10 tools. Yeah, 10 must-have tools for growing an online business. Same sort of deal. So let me switch back to my slide so we can break out this and break it down to make it more absorbable. Okay, so step one in creating an email marketing plan that is just going to be bomb, right? It's going to work like a charm. You have to organize it. So you have to organize your database before you try to grow it, because there's no sense in growing it if it's disorganized and just jumbled around. So the first thing you need to do is focus on that. So what I want you to do is group your database based on status. So are they a current client? Are they a past client? Are they friends, families, members? Are they real estate agents? Are they lenders, title companies? Who is that person and what's their current status? That's a way you can definitely categorize your database. Another way is to categorize them based on when they purchased their home. So if they purchased a home in 2014, you can get really specific with it and say January of 2014, or you can just say 2014. However you want to do that, whatever makes sense for your marketing plan. I also want you to categorize them for where they live. So do they live in a neighborhood? Do they live in a specific zip code? You know, whatever makes sense for your area, categorize them for where they live. I also want you to categorize them based on how you're going to market to them. Now this is really, really important, because I can categorize a database all day long, but then if I go to do, an e-newsletter, or if I want to mail, something to my farm, or if I want to send something to my A-list on my sphere, if I don't have that organized, it's going to take me longer to come up with that list that I need to send those items of value to. So if you have, a print mail piece that goes out to a certain audience, you should have a list that says, whatever that is. So if I'm going to send a piece of mail to my A-list on my sphere, I'm going to have a category that says A-list mailer or something like that. If I'm going to farm a certain area, I'm going to have, that also a part of my organization or my categories if I need to. So whatever you're doing in your marketing space, you need to categorize them accordingly. That way, it's this simple. If I need to mail that A-list marketing piece, I go into my database, I click a button, pull up the list, export into mail merge or something, or export and send it off to the printer, and it's done. In about 5 minutes or less, I can do that. Instead of going through and saying, well, this person would be nice, this one would be nice, that takes way too long, and we don't have the time. So this is going to really help you streamline this. So make sure you can easily send them to an email marketing platform that has an autoresponder. That's a huge, huge tip right here. So if you are using this strategy in your business after today, which I hope that you do, you should be able to do everything I showed you in those examples, and it should be automated. So once they sign up to retrieve that item of value, they should absolutely be able to go to a platform where whatever they're asking for is automated. The only thing I can think of that won't be automated is like a CMA. If they're requiring or signing up for a CMA, obviously you probably need to put your personal touch on that. So you might, send them that in a different way. But other things can definitely be automated so that you're sleeping and you're getting leads, or you're out showing houses and you're getting more people on your email list. That's what we want to do. So a couple of tools we love, and I would encourage you to check into. MailChimp, I love MailChimp. They should hire me. That's how much I've referred MailChimp to people. But we use it personally. I know a lot of other people in the industry that use it personally. We use it for our clients as well. Not only is it free up to 2,000 subscribers, but it's super easy to use. If I can do it, you can do it. It's super easy to use. You can customize a lot. You can create different lists for different things. But most importantly, there's an autoresponder feature there. So once somebody opts in for your list, which there are opt-in forms, everything on our website is pretty much connected to MailChimp. So if you go to our website, see a form, it's a MailChimp form. And it's really easy to create it and pop it on pretty much anywhere, Facebook, share the link and have a landing page or something like that. MailChimp is a really awesome tool. If you don't have MailChimp and you already have something that gives you your autoresponder and automates that process for you, then you can use something called Zapier. I don't know how you pronounce it. I pronounce it that way. If I'm wrong, let me know if you know a different way. But Zapier is something where we basically call them zaps. So let's say somebody goes into your Follow-Up Boss lead management tool, or maybe your 5 Street lead management tool. You can zap somebody or zap a contact from one platform to the other. So let's say you're using a contact form on your website. Sign up for this, and I'm going to give you that thing that you asked for. If you don't have the dots connected, Zapier will help you connect the dots there. So, for example, I'll share with you how we use Zapier. So we have a couple of email lists within MailChimp, and I've created them based off of what they sign up for. So I'll create one for that thing on our website, the tools and resources. So anybody who's requested that, they're on their own list by themselves. But I go into Zapier and I say, okay, anybody who is added to this email list gets zapped to this other one or whatever. So you can zap and connect the dots so you don't have to manually do a lot of things here. And there's a lot more you can do with it. We could probably do a whole webinar on how to use Zapier, but check it out and you'll get the idea. Lead pages, if you need a platform that will give you a landing page, give you templates for that, and allow you just to fill in the blanks and have a lead capture form as well, you can do that through lead pages. It's fairly affordable. I mean, I think it's like $40 a month or something like that, and you can create lead pages and use them in your campaigns, and I'm going to show you what campaigns would look like. Also, Gmail is a great place, too, to organize your database. So if you're organizing your database, you can organize your contacts in that way. So if you guys have another tool that you use and you love that has an autoresponder or that it's easy to do the things I've been mentioning, please pop it in the chat box. There are just a ton out there. We could spend all day kind of analyzing which ones are better than the others. So that's why I gave you these places to start, because I know MailChimp is at minimum, you can test it out because it's free, right? Zapier is free up to a certain amount of zaps per month. Gmail is free. Lead pages, I think you might get a free trial. So you try them out and figure out what you guys want to use in your little strategy we're going to create here. So number one is organize it. You have to have an organized database, so as you bring more emails into it, you know exactly how to categorize them and then exactly how to market to them once you're ready. So step 2 is to grow it, right? Once it's organized, now we have to bring more people on. So let's talk about how to do that. So before we talk about the specifics, I want to ask you a couple questions, and feel free to get out your pen and your paper so we can go over this. But who is your target client? So what are you trying to achieve? If I need to, put my finger on this is who I want on this email list because this will help me meet my goal this year. What does that look like? Are you looking for buyers or sellers? What kind of buyer or seller? Are they move up? Are they first time? You have to be super specific here, and you can even have a few target clients if you want. It doesn't just have to be one. Then where is your target market? Get hyper local here. So if you want to have this, if you want to farm this neighborhood, and then you also want to try to contact them a little bit more. So say you're sending out a piece of mail to them once a month to just get your name in front of them. You can also target that specific area through certain strategies so you can get in a different way. So you're mailing them, and then you're going to hit them online with an item of value to hopefully attract more people in that specific area. So where is your target market? It could be zip code, neighborhood, whatever. So just put in there at least 5 or no more than 5 rather. We'll start there. So target client, target market. The next thing I want to do is figure out what that person is genuinely interested in. Maybe they're not ready to buy or sell right now. So don't post things that are only geared towards that, or don't have your item of value just towards that. What is out there that they are genuinely interested in that's going to make them sit up in their chair and go, ooh, I really need that thing, or I really want what they have to offer. I'm going to give you my email address. So that's kind of the first step, is to figure out what they're genuinely interested in. The next thing is, again, what is your goal with this strategy? Are you looking for building your email list with a certain group of people in a certain area? What is your goal with this strategy? And what are you going to look at the end of the day and say, this was successful? So I got a ton of emails from this. This was really good. What does that look like to you? So this is a really important starting point because this is going to tell you what you should be putting out there. It's going to tell you what you need to spend your time on. It's going to tell you what is important and what's working and what's not. So the next step is to create that item of value. As I mentioned to you, it could be a list of something. It could be tips. It could be an ebook. An ebook is essentially a PDF. It could be 1 page, it could be 2 pages, it could be just a longer version of a blog, right? So an ebook is just basically a PDF. There's nothing really more to it than that. A CMA, you can obviously ask for that too. That's kind of the traditional old version of call to actions and list building and lead generation. But I will tell you, if you asked me last week about CMAs, I would have still said, you know what, I'm not a fan of CMAs. I just think it's overdone. They don't really work. However, I have talked to several agents over the last couple of weeks, and we're trying certain things ourselves for using CMAs as a call to action, and it's working. So I'm going to put that one back on the table and say it might be worth a try. So there's a lot of different variations of items of value you can offer. And I showed you the ones, as an example. Now we have to figure out what item of value is going to be something that makes your audience rise up in their chair and actually pay attention to and download. So here are a couple of signs that it is a good item of value. If people are signing up to receive it, obviously, right, you know that people actually want it. If you have a good ROI, so maybe they're signing up to receive it and they're actually reading your emails that you're sending to them, they're responding to the marketing you're sending to them afterwards, obviously that would even be way better than just getting an email. And they're opening your emails and maybe even turn into a customer or 2 or 7 or 25. That would be great, right? We all want this to actually lead into sales. That's the whole point of growing our audience. So let's grow our audience here. Let's figure out if this is a good item of value. And if you're not getting signups, if you're not getting any interaction, then maybe switch up that thing that you're offering people. So once you figure out what your goal is, what you're trying to do, figure out how to attract them with your item of value, then you take that item of value and you blast it out everywhere on everything. So a lot of times people will forget about the print side and they'll say, okay, I need a landing page, I need to run a Facebook ad, I need to do these things, and they forget about print. So please don't forget to make it a cohesive call to action. So if you're requesting, if you're offering a free CMA or something more expensive, a free ebook or a free list or discounts to something, make it a call to action on your website. Make it also the call to action on your farming postcard. Make it a Facebook ad. Do it everywhere. Why not, right? If you're trying to build your email list, you can definitely do this everywhere. So let's talk about this for a second. What does that look like and what does that mean? So your item of value, you create that, right? And like I said, it could be a ton of different things. Get your Central Ohio home value right here, or you can even be more specific. Get your Dublin, Ohio, which is a city within Central Ohio. Get your Dublin, Ohio home value here. Blank space, enter your information, click done. Whatever that thing is, your item of value, you have it. Then you're going to make a call to action on your website. It could be on your home page. It could be within your website somewhere. It could just be in your website, basically prompting them to what you want them to do. Then you're going to take that call to action and create a Facebook post around it, or pin it, or tweet it, wherever you guys are. But you can create that social post around that call to action. Then you can also create a targeted Facebook ad. Did you guys know that you can run a Facebook ad and target a specific zip code or city and target people who are most likely to sell in that target city? Did you know that you could do that? You can also target people who are lived in their home for a certain number of years. You can also target people who have certain buying habits or just got married or just got engaged or just graduated. There are so many things you can do. Facebook is a little creepy in that way, but it's fantastic for marketing. It's fantastic to go in and say, all right, I'm farming this zip code anyways, so might as well hit them on Facebook too. So they'll not only open their mail and see me, but they're going to go on Facebook while they're doing their thing, and they're also going to see me there too. So when they're ready, they will see me everywhere. That's exactly what we're trying to do here. So put it on your website, put it on social, run a targeted ad, put it on your print marketing. Please don't forget to do this, because why would somebody keep your postcard or keep that piece of mail? Can we make them do a second step? Absolutely. So they opened your mail. That was step one. They opened your email. That was step one. Now let's get them to take a second action, and that's what your call to action or your item of value can do. Then you will email that out to people. You can email them out to your massive database. By doing this, maybe not everybody on your database, maybe you have 1,000 contacts or something that you email on a regular basis. You can actually figure out who in your database is ready to take that action. So, for example, if I have that CMA example, I can actually put that call to action in my email and say, hey, anybody, if you're looking to sell your Dublin, Ohio home, check out its current value, click. If I am in Dublin, Ohio, and I might be looking to sell this year or maybe next, I can click that button, and now you know that I am wanting to know my value of my home. And you can check in with me to see if that's true, if I am looking to sell. So you can target within your targets. You can get really crazy if we want to get crazy. All I want you to do is do your marketing and do it smart. So when you're doing this item of value and you're connecting the dots, I want you to do just that. Connect the dots and work with what you have, because when you do that, you don't have to go out to Zillow and pay them thousands to get you leads. You can actually do it yourself and for a lot less. You don't have to pay $3,000 to different places, to get cold leads. Let's work with what we have and do that and see what's better. So then at the end of everything, always, no matter what it is that we're talking about, we're always going to push you to analyze it. Because if you're not analyzing it, you're basically kicking the wall and bouncing your head against the wall, not getting anything done. If you don't know what's working and what's not, you're not going to see the results that you can potentially get. So if your call to action or if people is not working, if people aren't signing up, if people aren't clicking on that thing you're sharing, if they're not interested, you're going to know, because you're not going to have those items that you need in order to build your email list. So then just flip it around, offer a different item of value, and see what works following this path. Does this help kind of bring this to life? Does this kind of put it into perspective? Again, I'm a visual person, so I use this graph a lot. I just put different things inside this graph so you guys can kind of see what we're working with here. But does this help? Okay, so item of value plus exposure plus simple sign up equals more emails. Item of value and getting that item of value exposure and letting them sign up easily equals more emails. That's just a fact. So let's talk about analyzing this for a second. So what's working and what's not? What does that mean? You have to do that, and here are a couple of obstacles I want to touch on. So you have to get the email address. That's an obstacle, right? You have to find a way to get them to download it. You have to get them to open your email. Once you have it on your list and you're emailing your database or your sphere or whatever that looks like, you have to get them to open it. You have to get them to take a second action. So once they open your email, you cross that first hurdle. Now you have to get them to click on something or do what you want them to do next. Another call to action, maybe an item of value inside of that email, whatever that looks like. So you have to get them to give you their email, actually open your emails, and then take that second action. And then at the end of the day, you need to convert them, right? Doing all of this just needs to translate into more business. So if it's not, got to figure out why. If it is, fantastic. Keep doing that exact same thing. So step number 3 is to actually use your email list. So once you organize it, once you build it, you got to use it. So now that your list is growing, let's do some strategic thinking here and strategic marketing. So organizing your database based on how you will use it is really, really key here. So here's a couple of examples. So again, let's say you're targeting sellers in this zip code. This is just a Central Ohio zip code. So targeting sellers in this area. That's my goal. That's my target market. That's my target client. The next thing you're going to do is list them into those categories, right? They're sellers, potential sellers. Maybe I should say potential sellers in that zip code. Then I can market to them. I can categorize them in both of those places where I can email them specific stuff that they would be interested in. So people who live in that specific zip code, what would they be interested in? Maybe events, maybe things to do, maybe new restaurants in that area, maybe stats every once in a while. You know, whatever it is that they would be interested in, you would know because you work those areas, right? If they're a seller, then you can also offer them an item of value in that way. So what are sellers interested in? Or what are homeowners interested in? DIY, they're interested in home decor trends or tricks or tips. They're interested in things that you know, whatever sellers are interested in and homeowners are interested in. So if you target them in the right category, then you can easily send them to that specific marketing strategy. So we've been talking a lot about call to actions and items of value. So when it comes to your website, you absolutely should be using it as your hub. This is where your landing pages should be. This is where your call to actions should be. This is where your items of value should be. It should absolutely be able to generate leads. It should have a built-in blog. I'm kind of not making that an option anymore. It should offer value, and it should represent you. Because once you start to generate this buzz and that your email lists are growing, you should be able to, you know, definitely talk about or be able to convert them by having a great online presence and offering them more when they're ready to take that second step. So the first key is to just get more exposure, right? The second key is to offer value in doing that. The third key is to then, when they're ready, they can't stop thinking of you. They think of you when they're ready to buy or sell because you did that on purpose. That is the goal with this whole process. So here are a couple of email tips for you. The worst time to email is actually at night, like overnight, 10 p.m. to 9 a.m., which it doesn't surprise me because I don't think I'm checking my email after 10 p.m., either watching Scandal or Game of Thrones or something. Or working. I work all the time too. 2 to 5 p.m., the most emails are actually opened. This was a shock to me because we send our emails out at the crack of dawn, typically around 8 to 8:30 in the morning. They might be delivered at different time periods, but that's when we typically see the most email open rates are about like 9 and 10 and 11. So I think I would definitely look to see where you guys are getting your what your stats are when your audience is actually reading and opening your emails. I know that you're not supposed to really email people on a Monday or a Friday. There's less chances of them to open it because Mondays you're inundated with stuff for the workday. Fridays you're ready for the weekend. You're not really looking to be sold on something, right? So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is when we typically email as well. There is a decrease in click rates when you use the word newsletter. So please don't email somebody and in the subject line say real estate newsletter. Please, please, please don't do that. It should be something else. Let me give you some examples of a killer subject line. So anytime you have a question or leave a cliffhanger or something that is irresistible, that makes up a killer subject line. So for example, one of the ones we used for this webinar was, I think, 1 email equals 1 listing and 2 buyers. I think that's what I said. So if you want that from 1 email, then you probably signed up for this this webinar, right? So things like Have you seen this? Question mark. You should be doing this, dot, dot, dot. Are you going here, dot, dot, dot. Leaving a cliffhanger, asking a question, having a killer subject line will increase your open rates. I want you to start with just one list. So I want you to come up with one item of value, one list that you're going to start building, and then let's just start there. And let me give you some examples of what this could be too. But I want you also to get an awesome CRM, a client relationship management tool with an autoresponder. So whether it be MailChimp, you test that out for free, or you use something like Lead Pages, or maybe you already have this set up on your website, I want you to get an awesome CRM with an autoresponder. That way this process is pretty automated for you. So one list, one item of value, and let's start there. And then you need to make it super easy to sign up. Did you see how easy it was on Melanie Duncan's website? It prompted up a little screen, 2 boxes I had to fill out, and then done. Marie Forleo, the same way. It was just 2 boxes and then click a button. On ours, I think we have 3, first, last name, and then email, done. So you have to make it super easy and very clear as to what they're going to get and how easy it is to sign up. And then automating it will save you so much time and headache. Like I said, you could wake up and have 5 more emails in your inbox overnight. Or you can wake up and have 27. I don't know, depends on what it is and how aggressive you are with it. So today, we covered why email marketing is still working. We covered examples. I shared with you a ton of examples. I actually gave you examples on how to create that item of value, specifically targeting your target clients and your target markets. So that will tell you exactly what item of value you want to offer them. What you create, whether it be an ebook or a list, is kind of up to you as to what you feel like your audience would be interested in. And then I gave you that 3-step strategy. Organize your database. Then I want you to start to grow it by offering that item of value in the ways I kind of explained. And then the third thing was, what was the third thing? We were just there. Oh, my mind's going everywhere. And I'll use it. So I want you to use your entire database. So actually, as you're growing your stuff, you're going to use the stuff that you've spent time doing. All right. Any questions you guys have so far about this stuff, about items of value? If you want to shoot at me, maybe who your target client is, if you want me to give you examples as to certain items of value, I'm happy to help you guys out with that. Any questions or anything you want me to touch on? Okay, so I have a couple of things. Like I said, we have that workshop coming up on Monday for the Pinterest challenge. So I would love for you guys to enter that free thing. That link is in the chat box. The next thing I want to talk about is something we launched last year. Because we've seen things work for agents, we've seen things not work for agents, and we always are altering what we're doing based on what works and what doesn't. So what I'm sharing with you today is actually email list building, creating call to actions and items of value is stuff that we can do. So we actually can create that step-by-step strategy and let it roll and kind of test it out and see what's working and what's not and help you with this process. So we actually build a package that will help you do this. We build our websites on WordPress, which is mobile friendly, and it allows us to create things like landing pages and call to actions and kind of customize that in such a way that makes sense for your business. So what we do is we create built-in call to actions based on who you tell us you want to work with. You get yearly template updates so your website's never out of date, and we make it work. So if we see that your call to actions and your conversion's not working, we make it work. So we go in and we kind of analyze it and we make certain adjustments to see what we need to do to get you where you want to be. So the content and verbiage and strategy and branding and the whole thing is customized to you. It's a semi-custom template, so I have 3 examples on the left for one layout that's converted into 3 different brands and 3 different strategies. So we have 2 levels of this. The first level is just we set it up, we let you go, and you guys can kind of take it from there, but we'll monitor it and we'll give you and we'll do maintenance. So like if it goes down or if something needs to be fixed or altered or something, we do maintenance and monitoring, analyzing what's working and what's not, and then from there, the rest of it's kind of up to you. However, we also have the premium package where we handle your social media. So if you want to run that Facebook targeted ad, we can help you do that. We can help you create those items of value consistently every week with the fresh blogs that we write on your behalf. We do include an e-newsletter, and there's a lot more we do with that. So if you want help with your marketing department and your website, that would be the package to choose. With the premium package, you get the basic package stuff as well. So I want you guys to stop wasting time and money on a website that you can't use. That is why we started doing this last year, because I had way too many people all at once tell me one broker specifically spent 14 grand on a website and they had to dump it. I got so mad when she told me that I went the next day and I found a developer and we were partnering together to offer you guys something that is more affordable and more effective and just makes sense. You know, a website needs a little love. It needs some attention. It's not something that just sits there and works unless that's how you set it up. But a lot of times there's a lot more to your marketing strategy than just a website or just a social post. There's more internally that can happen to convert better. So this is the breakdown as to what it costs for us to create your website. We look at the budget and we say, how cheap can we make this for agents? Because I do not want you to pay me 14 grand for a website. I just think that's really, really high unless it does some crazy, amazing things. So we've kind of tested the industry to see what others are charging and what you're getting, and for the amount of hands-on stuff that we are doing in these packages, this is kind of our price point for that. So I wanted to share this with you because it's something that if you need a site or if you're interested in working with somebody like us where we help you kind of do everything I mentioned in this webinar and more, and we can help you do that. So let's get back to call to actions and items of value and building your email list. I do have a couple questions in the email or the chat box. So, okay, Saba, you're asking that you say you live in Powell, Ohio. I've lived there too. We actually lived close to Home Road and Sawmill way back when. It was a long time ago now, I think like 7 years ago. Right, I think before the high school was built. It was crazy. So I'm familiar with Powell. But yeah, so if you're asking for basically an item of value idea, so I would look to see if you are targeting Powell, what areas are you targeting, and are you mailing to them? Are you just targeting them online? You'll definitely be able to do that through things like Facebook. But I would say, like I said, if you're going to do hyper-local targeting, what are they interested in Powell? So what events are happening? You have like downtown Powell. Now there's a lot going in, a lot of new subdivisions, new restaurants. I think they just built Chipotle over off of 23 when I left. I was so mad because we moved away and then they built a Chipotle there. So there's a lot, you know, exploding there. So I would, you know, what are they interested in? What would you be interested in? If you're not looking to buy or sell, you just live in Powell, what would you want to know? So you also mentioned that you're doing postcards. So yes, I would put that call to action on the postcard and online and on your website and just hit them from all angles and give them ample opportunity to download or to opt in to that item of value that you have. So a list of events, they can get on an email list and you can say, if you live in Powell or this area, Bonnie, I noticed you said Hilliard and Dublin, which are also in Central Ohio. You can definitely say, get a list of things to do every month in this specific city. Or, you know, you can be really, really specific and be consistent. So it doesn't have to be a one-off item of value. It could be a list that they subscribe to continually get things if they live in that area. So absolutely, you can definitely get really specific and offer whatever that looks like to you guys. So you're also asking for the cost of both of the packages. It's actually $2.99 a month for the premium package, which includes everything. So that's not $149 plus $2.99. It's $2.99 a month after it's all set up and ready to go for everything you see on your screen. And I know I'm probably missing a couple of things, but in a nutshell, that's kind of what you get. So hopefully that answers your question. If you're interested, come over to our website and or you can shoot me an email at info@yourbiztank.com or go to our website and inquire about a website. We can definitely chat about the specifics and what you get and what you guys are looking for. Ed, you're asking if you get a replay. Absolutely, you definitely get a replay of this webinar, for sure, for sure, for sure. Okay, I'm looking to see if there's any other questions. All right, so let me go back to our slide that talks about the path really quick because I want to make sure you guys have this down and have a really great understanding as to what it is. So I'm actually going to use your example. So let's say you're targeting Powell, Ohio. We'll just keep rolling with that one. So your item of value, let's just say it's going to be events or things to do in Powell, Ohio. And by opting into your list, they're going to get either just a list of things or maybe every month you send a list of things they can do in Powell, Ohio. Maybe it's family friendly. Maybe it's just general things to do or places to go or just hyper local stuff for that area. That will do a couple different things. It targets Powell. It targets people who live in Powell or go to Powell. And if they're ready to buy or sell, your name's going to be attached to everything that you're sending them. And you'll also have your call to actions in those emails if they were ready to buy or sell so they can take that action when they're ready. So let's roll with that. Let's roll with that example. So on your website, you're going to have, do you live in Powell? Get a list of things to do every month. Click here. Or something like that. Something really simple, something that attracts your attention, some sort of prompt that says click here or sign up here or something that is an actionable call to action. So not just, sometimes if we're promoting a video, we'll say watch the recording or watch the video here or something that is prompting them to take an action. Watch is an action. So watch this video, click here. Those are all actionable items. So once you create that call to action, your landing page, all of those things through your website or whatever that case may be, you can spread it out on social. And that same image, that same brand, that same call to action will be everywhere in your social posts and in your targeted ads. From there, you'll add that call to action to the postcards that you're mailing people, any print marketing that you're doing in the Powell area, because that just makes sense for them to also get that call to action. So now you not only have their address, but you have their email address as well. Oops, I went backwards. Then once you have them and on your email list, you can continually email that group of people that item of value. Is this making sense? Is this helping? And then you can see maybe what they're clicking on, if they're opening that stuff that you're sending them. If you get more signups often, then perfect. Then maybe take that same strategy and move over to a different area, a different neighborhood or a different city, or maybe do something else. Figure out what a second maybe call to action to that same area would be. So hopefully this kind of makes sense after giving you a real life example as to what that could look like. And again, your item of value, just getting it in front of people and having a simple way to have them sign up and opt in will definitely generate more emails for you. Any questions that you guys have? Okay, I'm going to actually go back to, we still have a ton of people on here. I don't know if you like to hear me talk, or hopefully this is definitely helpful to you guys. I'm hoping that it is, but I would love for you guys to be a part of our Pinterest challenge coming up in February. The Pinterest challenge, we have websites that are happening. We have other workshops going on. We have a lot happening here. We have a lot of CE classes coming up, more webinars coming up. So I would love to interact with you guys or see you live in person or see you in the challenge or see you on the next webinar. And I also want to know how this is working for you guys. So if you are list building, if you start to implement any of this stuff, if you have any questions, you have our email address, you have our access to our Facebook page. So please let me know how we can help you kind of streamline this and actually use this in your business. So I'm curious to see if this helped. So just type in the chat box, yes, this was helpful. No, I need more information, or yes, I'm going to start right away. Pop in the chat box, give me some feedback, and let me know how this webinar was for you guys today. And I'm going to stop the recording now, but I'm going to stay online just to see if you guys have any questions. I'll be here to answer those for you.